How's it going, guys? Welcome back to episode number 5 of the 2025 Christmas list. Today we join each other on Boxing Day. Now, depending on where you live, I hope you're either going to have, having or had a lovely Boxing Day. I'm sure many of you are on the sofa right now watching Christmas films whilst having leftovers from Christmas Day, and I'm sure many of you have either had or going to have the famous Boxing Day long walk, which everybody knows about. However, today I am going to be doing a bit of a different video that we're usually used to seeing on the channel. It involves this, some Lego, and it also involves some of this. Now, before I'm slated for being woke, this is obviously alcoholic, and we are going to be basically answering some questions which I've got to my left. We're going to be having some shots of Baileys, and we're going to be building some Lego. But I wanted to have a festive drink for this Christmas video, rather than me just downing vodka or sambuca or tequila like some proper alcoholic. I went with a Baileys, which I think is quite Christmassy, and I've actually gone for Australian River mint and chocolate flavour. So hopefully it's not going to be too sickly, but I think that is quite a Christmassy flavour. So please be kind to me in the comments. I know a lot of people will be saying it's a bit woke to just be shotting Baileys because it's basically like just cream, but hey ho, this is a family friendly channel. It's not, but I didn't want to get wasted on camera. Touch wood. So without further ado, I haven't tasted this yet. I don't really know. We're just going to have a small shot. Is that small? Yeah, that's hardly anything in it. I've got to pace myself for this video. So cheers. Depending whatever you're doing on Boxing Day, I hope you're having a lovely day. Cheers. That is actually quite nice. Oh, that's actually very nice. That's a bit dangerous, that. Right, ahead. So this is, of course, to add to my collection. I've already got one of the plants, which I was gifted by someone. I thought I'd go ahead and get another one. Is that all in the box? Okay. Right. So, we have, I don't even know what it's called. We have a plant, basically. I'm not a plant man, but when it comes to Lego, I'll build a plant. Right, so we obviously have bag 1, bag 2, and bag 3. So I presume you start on bag 1. And the name of the plant is chrysanthemum. And it looks like that, apparently, in real life. Don't know why I bothered telling you that. Right, so I don't actually know how long this is going to take me. So we could actually end up finishing that whole bottle of Baileys, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it, shall we? So I did ask questions on Instagram and also on my channel in the community section, but I don't think anyone saw that. So I got some questions off Instagram. People have sent them in. So we're going to start with question number 1, and it is, do you enjoy making videos? Well, absolutely, otherwise I wouldn't be doing YouTube. I very much enjoy making them, I enjoy editing them, I enjoy watching them back, and yeah, I think if you, sorry, I'm rambling, I don't know how to make a build Lego with me video. Sorry, I need to concentrate. If this YouTube channel goes somewhere, then obviously that's going to be great. But at the moment, I'm doing it as a hobby, and it's a hobby that I do very much enjoy. So as long as I'm enjoying it, the videos are going to keep coming, basically. Et voila! That's one piece done. I think it's shot o'clock. Ooh, Yeah, I can't see that bottle lasting, to be honest. That's quite bad, isn't it? Right, chin chin. Oh, I say it's nice. It's got that nice aftertaste, but when you're actually drinking it, it's a bit rank. I don't know how that works, but yeah. Next question. Do you miss UK? Yes, of course I miss the UK. You know, it's my home, and I miss everybody there. I mean, that's standard, but I am enjoying life in New Zealand. I know that's going to be bad news for certain people, but you never know. We don't know what life is going to throw at us, and everything is up in the air with regards to whether we move back, whether we stay, whether we go Australia. I don't know. So just. Right, next question is, should you be allowed to celebrate Christmas if you aren't Christian? Why? Now, why ask me that? You know, I'm not the best when it comes to religion. I don't know. Yes, you can celebrate Christmas if you're not Christian, because it's a time of giving, and if you give, that can only be good, can't it? Right? That's probably the worst answer I could have given, because it's a happy season. So why can you not celebrate it if it's a happy season? You know, love makes the world go round. I think it's shot o'clock. Chin chin. Oh, getting worse as it goes along. One of the other flavours I could have got was salted caramel, which I was tempted by, but I thought the mint might cut the sweetness of the chocolate, so that's why I went with that. Salted caramel, I think that would be way too sickly. But I could have been wrong, and I'll never know because I've never bought it. So, yeah. So, next question is, how many shots would it take to shag Dan Pruce? Now, for those of you who don't know Dan Pruce, he is one of my best mates. And he looks like this. So, how many shots would it take for me to shag that? I mean, why am I looking there like he's there? How many shots would it take? I think it would take... Depends on what of. If it's of that Baileys, probably till the end of that bottle. However, if not, if it was vodka, then it'd probably be about... maybe 8 shots of vodka. I mean, he's the one who doesn't... What? Why am I continuing? Cut! Put it on like that. I swear these Lego are getting more advanced. Like, when I was a kid, it was like... plonk 2 blocks together and that was your car or something. But these, you're doing like trickery with it. Whoever the Lego designer is a genius. Oh, what have I got to build here? That looks too complicated. I've got to do it twice as well. Right, next question. I mean, some of these questions that people have asked are vile, like this one. If your partner was 1 inch inside of you and you were 1 inch inside of a big bald Irish man, which way would you thrust? What is it with sexual questions on this channel? You're all perverts. I would probably thrust... I mean, I know a big bald Irish man, and I'm thinking, would I thrust into him? And the answer probably would be yes. But then to keep that intimacy between myself and my partner, would I thrust back? I think I'd thrust forward in answer to that question. Might have placed that on there like that. We'll do it that way. Yeah, I know they're only small shots, but like I said, I've got to pace myself. I've had a few bevies beforehand. Oh, it's rank, isn't it? What we do for the sake of feeling a bit woozy and a bit merry, then you suffer with it the next day. Right, next question is worst Christmas party experience. Now, I haven't been on many that have had a bad experience, to be honest. I remember when I was a young apprentice and our Christmas party was, we all went for a poker night and I ended up losing all my money. And then we got a cab into central Brighton, where I was living at the time. And I can't remember a lot from there, to be honest. All I was told that I tried paying the taxi driver with card and he wouldn't accept it. So my bosses had to pay for the taxi, even though I promised that I would get it. And then I was told that I headbutted a cash machine for no reason at all. And then I remember waking up the next day and I had a huge graze down the side of my face from where I fell over, I believe. So, I mean, that was quite a bad experience, and it was for a Christmas party, so I suppose it would be that. Apart from that, I've had fairly decent Christmas party experiences, so there's no more to comment. Moving on to the next question. What sound would be the scariest if you could hear it? Now, does that mean, well, what I'm going to assume that means is the sounds that I haven't heard before, and therefore they would be scary to me. I suppose an air raid siren sound would be pretty scary because of the impending danger. What else would be scary? Anything to do with deep water, like whale calls. I've heard some videos online of them, and they are terrifying in my opinion, because if you hear them, you can't usually see the whales, so it's just these ominous calls that come from the deep, and you don't know where they are or how close they are. And I know it's only whales, they're not harmless, they're not harmful, but it's just the thought of being in the ocean and knowing that those creatures are so big and they could be anywhere at any time. And those calls are pretty eerie and ominous. So I suppose those two things answer that question, pardon me. Aha! So we have done part one, look at that. It looks like a UFO, doesn't it? Put that to the side, shall we? I think it's shot o'clock. Oh, that was a big one. Right, bag number 2. And we move on also to the next question, which is, how many chickens would it take to kill an elephant? Do I look like friggin' David Attenborough? I don't know. An elephant is pretty big and a chicken is very small. So I would say, and a chicken can peck to death, but an elephant could just crush them with its foot and with its trunk. So I would probably say 100,000 chickens could kill an elephant. I mean, there's no answer because nobody's done it and nobody's going to. So, stupid question if you ask me. If you ask that, you're an idiot. Next question is, what's the weirdest thing you've ever smelled and liked? Ooh, now that's a fairly difficult question. I don't really know. I suppose, has anyone ever, if you've got a cat and you get its food out, like wet cat food, and you smell that, and I think that smells quite nice because it's like meat and gravy in a way, but they add something to it which makes it fragrant. Fragrant cat food. What am I on? I like the smell of petrol, but that's not weird. I think that's quite common. So yeah, cat food. Yeah. What's the time? It's shot o'clock. How much we got through? I don't know. I can't see because the bottle is black. Oh, I seem to be accidentally pouring more than I should. Is that right? They don't go that way, do they? No. They go that way. If you had to replace your middle name with a sound effect, what would it be? Well, I don't have a middle name. Funnily enough, not everybody has a middle name. I don't. So, what would it be if I did have a middle name? Sound effect. Reese Bang United. I was about to say Reese Bang United. That's not my name. Reese. I don't know. That's a stupid question. If you ask that, it's a stupid question, and I can't think of anything. If you could give me some examples in the comments if you ask that, I'd maybe like a crashing plate. I don't know. So where did they go? In there? Really? No, that ain't right. No, that's loose. What are you talking about? Well, that's too loose. What are you talking about? Have I missed something? Oh, yes, I have. I had to do it to every single one. Wait, did I? No. What? Oh, that goes through there. Whoopsie daisy. Does it go through there? Yes, it does. I'm just being a moron. Right, we'll move on to the next question. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses? What? What's wrong with you people? Who thinks that up? 100 duck-sized horses? Because one horse-sized duck, it's got a beak and it can peck you and probably eat you alive. Whereas 100 duck-sized horses, you could just stamp on and break their legs and therefore they won't be able to move. So 100 of them, yep. Oh, it's just awful. Wait, I'll turn that upside down. Oh. And then what? That on there? Oh. And then that under there. Oh, look at that. That's cute. What's something you've done that felt illegal but wasn't? Now that is a great question. And my answer to that would be, has anyone ever done this where you walk into a shop and you're looking for a certain thing and you go around the shop and you can't find that thing you want. So then you've got to go through the checkout bit but not stop at a checkout to buy anything. So what I do is I walk through that checkout and I think to myself that I've stolen something when I know for a fact I haven't. But because I've entered a shop and I'm leaving not paying for anything, I feel like I've stolen something. That feels illegal, but it's not. I haven't done anything wrong. Oh, I've done that bit wrong though. So that's my answer to that. Next question. Would you rather burp glitter or fart confetti? Definitely fart confetti, because that would be like every fart you have, it'd be like a party starting. Whereas burping glitter, you might get glitter stuck in your throat or in your mouth, which sounds horrible because glitter is so small. It can irritate your throat or your mouth. So I'd probably go with fart confetti. That doesn't nearly sound as bad as burp glitter. Right, we'll have a shot o'clock, and we'll also have another question whilst I'm doing it. So it is, which famous celebrity would you want to punch in the face? Very good question. Now, one person that I don't know if you could call a celebrity, but he's famous in a way. He's famous in the way for being a complete dick, and that is Jack Doherty. He is the worst human being on this planet, I think. I can't think of anything worse, or anyone worse. Jake Paul I'd like to slap or punch because he's an idiot as well. And maybe because this person hit somebody else whilst on television, I think it's only fair that I would punch Will Smith in the face as well for what he did to Chris Rock during the Oscars. Yeah, he's gone down in my list of... I mean, he made some good films, Will Smith, early like 2000s and late 90s, but anything since then, he's been crap. So I'm sure he's going to be really offended by me. Yeah. Chin chin. That was a much more dealable level. Right, we've got to add all these little things to this. Next question. If there's an ambulance on its way to save somebody, I can't even read that. If there's an ambulance and it's on its way to save someone and it knocks down someone, would it stop to help them? It depends on the casualty in the ambulance to start with, I suppose. If the person in the ambulance has got, I don't know, a gunshot wound and is bleeding profusely and they knock somebody down on the way to the hospital, they probably wouldn't stop. Well, I wouldn't stop. I'd call for backup and say, there's somebody here who needs help. You drive there and I'll take this more important person to the hospital. I put that on there like that. On to bag 3. Oh, we're actually doing this quicker than I thought, so we've got to get through these questions. Next question is, if bald people work in a restaurant, do they still need to wear a hairnet? Absolutely not. But if they have a beard, then yes. So, in answer to your question, no. In answer to my addition to the question, yes. Right, it's shot o'clock, and it's also the next question, which is, One piece of advice you give your younger self if you could go back. Holy crap, that is a good question. And that is a very difficult question. Probably don't drink. No, not that. If I could go back, it would be look after your teeth, because you only get one shot at teeth, and if you let them rot or have fillings, you know, they don't grow back, and a dentist costs a fortune. So I wish I had looked after my teeth. My teeth aren't that bad, but there's things that I wish that I did when I was younger. Oh my God. Next question, relationship advice. Relationship advice. Well, I suppose I've been with my partner now, who you saw yesterday. We've been together for, I think it's bananas. They look like bananas, sorry. We've been together for coming up to 9 years now. And the two key things, I think, in a relationship are communication and trust. If you have both of them, you're sorted. They can both be difficult to ascertain, but in the long run, you know, you've always got to talk, because if you don't talk, the other person doesn't know how you're feeling, and that can lead to altercations that are unnecessary. And I know it's hard to talk to your partner about how you feel, but you just have to bite the bullet and do it, because in the long run, it'll be better for you and for them. Right, deep question out the way. Let's move on to the next. What do you think of Australia? Now, that is a good question. Of course, my Australia vlog, I was absolutely slated for voicing my opinion on a bit of rain, but I'm not bitter about it, not at all. Absolutely not. I'm still getting, even though it's 8 months later, I'm still getting comments saying mean things about that video, because I commented on the weather once, but like I said, I'm not bitter. I think Sydney, the only place I visited there, I think it was fantastic, and it was a vibrant city. There was so much going on. It was full of liveliness, and I loved it. So, in answer to that question, I would love to explore more, and we probably will explore more in the future, but we just haven't done it now. So, what am I doing? So, yeah, I think Australia is great. Right, shot o'clock. And next question. Okay, next question is OG Fortnite. Well, I suppose you want me to give my opinion on. OG Fortnite was peak gaming, if you must know. Chin chin. I am very glad that I was a part of the OG Fortnite, because in a way that inspired so many games we have now. So yeah, I think OG Fortnite I was glad to be a part of that, and it's a shame that it ended up becoming so pay to win, and so many microtransactions. It just ruined it, to be honest. But like I said, I'm glad I could have experienced what OG Fortnite was like when it first came out. And I remember Daniel Pruce, who we saw, who I decided how many shots I would have before I shag him. I remember him telling me one night to download the game, and I thought to myself, oh, here we go. Probably another crap game, he suggests. So I downloaded it, and we played like 2 games, and we both died really quickly. And I thought to myself, oh, that's a crap game. Nobody's ever going to cotton onto that. Nobody's ever going to play that. And it's now one of the biggest games ever made, and is still growing to this day. And what did it come out? 2017. So we're talking 8 years later. So I ate my words then and now. Moving on. Next question. Africa by Toto. Yep. What about it? Oh, right. You want me to give my opinion on it? One of the greatest hits of the 80s. It is a cult classic, and I believe it was in... Was it in GTA San Andreas? I presume so, because that's the only time I would have heard it as a young child, and that is the... I remember that being in my childhood somewhere. So it must have been GTA San Andreas. If it was, then, yeah, like I said, oh look, that's really cool. Look at that, it's like a claw. It's like, yeah, an absolute classic song, and one that will always be in my playlist. And funny enough, my mum is reminded... No, pardon me. My mum is reminded of me whenever she listens to that song, because I used to play it all the time, so that's kind of stuck with her, that song is kind of related to me in a way, because I used to play it all the time. So that's quite a nice touch, I suppose. Can we have a shot o'clock counter, please, in the comments? How many times I end up saying it in the video? Oh yeah, it's 2 shots in one. Not nice. Next question. How long would you survive in a zombie apocalypse? Now, I've watched The Walking Dead, so I know that you shouldn't trust anyone really. But I think I could survive fairly well. I mean, unless I think I could defend myself against a zombie. I've played too many games to not know how to defend myself. So it depends where I was, I suppose, in a zombie apocalypse. If I was in New Zealand, probably quite long, because there's nothing out here. And in Europe, it would be absolute chaos. And in the States, it would be chaos because of the population. So out in New Zealand, I think I would survive a long time. It's getting a bit vile now, I must admit. It's getting a struggle. Right, next question. Have you ever been caught short when needing a number 2? Yes, I have. And what a story it is. So I am a keen golfer. Well, I say keen. I'm not too keen, but I can play golf. I've played golf for many years now. So I remember one time I was playing golf with my father, and he doesn't play, he just walks around with me. And I remember one time we just started, and I was on hole number 2. Pardon the pun. I was on hole number 2, and I really badly needed a poo, or the number 2. And I've got to make 18 of them. Okay. I really badly needed the toilet, and I held it in like you do, and then it went away. You know, like it went back up. So I thought, oh, that's brilliant. I'll go when I'm home. However, turns out that on hole 8, I got to the green and I putted, and then the turd decided to come back with a vengeance, and it thought, I want to come out now, regardless of what you feel or what you think you can control. I want to come out now. So I said to my dad, I said, we've got to go, because I cannot hold this. And the golf course was only around the corner from where he lived. So I said to him, we've got to go now, because I need to go now. So we start waddling back to the car, and bearing in mind, as you go on a golf course, it was an 18 hole, so usually hole 8 is or hole 8 and 9 are at the furthest point, because then you come back and finish the 18th at the clubhouse. So we were at the furthest point. So we start walking back to his taxi, and I say to him, I cannot move anymore. I'm going to have to go. So he says, right, well, just go in there. Go in this little, it was like a little pathway in the bush. And I said, what do you mean? He said, just go in there and squat and drop your pants and poo. So I did. And it came out, you know, like tap. Like somebody turned on a tap and out it came. And of course I didn't have anything to wipe with, so I had to waddle back to the car with shit in my pants and shorts. And then of course when I got home I got straight in the shower. But yes, I have been caught short. And I could have just said yes to that answer, but you know. Speaking of Baileys, we might as well have another shot. Ugh. Great, isn't it? Ooh. What would your last meal on death row be? Very good question, I like that. Right, I'm having 3 courses. That's a fact. Have I done this? No. I'm having 3 courses, and for starter, I would have. What would I have? What would I have? I think I would have a beautiful bruschetta from a proper Italian place. So I'd have that as my starter, and then for my main, I would have a large, I repeat, a large Meteor UK Domino's pizza with 2 big garlic and herb dips and a side of the chicken strippers that UK Domino's do. And then for dessert, what would I have? I'd have a dime cake, a dime torte, which I will put it up here. A dime torte, which is an incredible dessert, only sold in the UK, I think. Next question is, do you think aliens exist? Of course they exist. And, you know, if you think we're the only things in the universe, or the only life form in the universe, you're a complete idiot. I think it's shot o'clock, and then we're actually coming up to the final question that I was asked, or Sorry, I was asked more questions, but these are the ones that I've chosen because some of them didn't make sense, or I couldn't answer, or are just disgusting, or yeah. So these are the questions that I've chosen. So if your question didn't get answered, I'm sorry, but I can't answer them all, and if they're horrible, I'm not going to answer them. So, Chin Chin, what do you believe is the worst way to die? Very good question. What is the worst way to die? Probably by drinking mint and chocolate Baileys at the rate I'm going. I mean, apparently the worst way to die is by being burnt to death, which does sound awful. But I think my worst way to die, if it were to me to die, would be either drowning or falling off of something. Because apparently falling off of something, apparently you fall a lot quicker. We're finished. We've done the book. Where does this go? Actually, it goes on the only space available, I think. Apparently, if you jump off of something, when you fall a lot quicker than you actually realise. So you may jump off of something and say it's like off of Beachy Head. You may jump off of that thinking you've got at least 30 seconds to think about life. No. Apparently you only have about 8 seconds jumping from that height. So, worst way to die, for me personally, would be drowning. Yeah, drowning, falling off of a cliff, or burning to death. But forgetting that question, that's a great question, but it's the last question. We have finished said piece of said Lego, said plant. It's a pretty plant, and you don't need to water it because it's Lego, so that's a good thing. This will sit quite nicely next to my other piece that I've got, the bamboo thing. So I think I've got 2 more to get of this collection, but yeah, that was nice to build. Fairly standard. I mean, some of the instructions look difficult. Getting 18 pieces around this was quite difficult, I must admit, but they've ended up on there, so that's good. And to finish this video, I think I'm gonna have a nice drinky poo-poo with you all, with me Lego plant in the side ground. I tell you what, there is not a lot left in this bottle. I think I've probably done, this is a 700ml bottle, I think I've probably done 650ml, which, I don't know if you could tell, but I'm starting to feel the effects of it. Like I said, happy Boxing Day. I hope you have a lovely day doing whatever you're doing. Let's enjoy this drink together. Here's to another year. If you could support me like you have done on the 2025 year that we've just had, plenty more horror games, plenty more playthroughs coming throughout 2027. My God, it feels weird saying that. It feels weird saying that because we're not actually going into 2027, we're going into 2026. So plenty more gameplays and playthroughs through 2026. It might be the Baileys talking, but yeah. Here's to 2026. I like the way the bottle of Baileys says, treat yourself to an indulgent flavour experience. I've more than treated myself, I suppose, when I've nearly finished the whole bottle to myself. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the building Lego, drinking some Baileys, answering some questions video. It's not what I usually do on the channel, but like I said, it's Boxing Day, so I'm allowed to get a bit merry when in front of you guys. So I hope I haven't been too vulgar, too clumsy. I don't know. I'm sure I've been fine, but if you've got any complaints, which you might have, leave them down in the comments and I'll be sure to ignore them. But it is Boxing Day. Like I said yesterday, I hope you've had a great Christmas, a great Boxing Day, and here's to New Year's. Here's to the plant that I built whilst drinking some chocolate mint Baileys. Like I said, very nice flavour, but quite sickly after a while, so maybe don't drink it like I've drunk it today, in case you don't want to feel ill. So leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Take care, people.